Hi, I'm Edith from Property Bank. Today I'm going to share with you cooling measures again. And I'm sure this topic is no longer new to you. So have you ever thought of investing in business properties? So in order not to be so mouthful mentioning commercial and industrial properties, I'll use this term business properties or non-residential properties. So today I will actually be covering on the why you should be looking at business properties and how you should go about it. Yeah. So if you're a Singaporean or a PR, you have settled your home, you're planning for investment, and perhaps even planning for legacy for your children, so why business properties? So first of all, you already invested in your residential properties. Of course, you should try to diversify your portfolio into non-residential. As you have already experienced the tax increase and versus the business properties, it is definitely a way to diversify your investment portfolio. And next, I would like to share that for business properties, the rental income is definitely quite steady and quite stable because you are renting out to businesses, and as an ongoing business concern, in fact, these tenants do pay you your rent, and some of them, or rather most of them, even do a gyro payment to you. Next up, the property management part is a lot easier. You don't have tenants calling you to, the aircon is not working or the toilets are choked. Most often for the businesses, they actually handle the day-to-day, property management problem themselves. Because when you rent out, it is on an as-is, where-is basis, or even if it's bare unit, your tenant will help you spruce up the units. And then, of course, depending on the tenant profile, some units turn out to be really pretty, designer basis in terms of how they renovate the space. Yeah, so I think for some of you who are renting out even to clinics, or basically you have doctors who really pay very long term, like to stay long term as your tenant. Next up, I would like to mention also on the capital appreciation. You know how land scarce Singapore is, and definitely most of the properties in fact jump multiple fold if you give it a time horizon. So such examples you already known recently, Golden Mile, Tanglin Shopping Centre. This is as a result of the investors who have invested early, and besides their residential property, they in fact invest in a slice of the business properties. So they are now riding on the en bloc, but of course that horizon could be quite long. Yeah. So that's for the Singaporean and PR, and I would say that you as a business owner, you probably have been paying so many months of rent. And we have one newspaper article who a business owner talks about the pain of paying over 10 years, $2 million of rent. This business owner has made his landlord richer. So for the the SME Tauke, in fact, quite some of them, they have their landed home, and on top of that, they have also invested in either their commercial or industrial property, and in fact they are riding on just besides curbing the rent increase, and every time few years they have to move because landlords have a certain pattern. They like to increase your rent. I mean, that's quite common because of cost increase. And then when you relocate, besides the relocation costs, the renovation cost is also getting your clients and staff get used to that environment that you have to set up all over again. So it causes a lot of disruption to all these business owners if they don't consider to buy a property and view it as a long-term investment. So I would also highly recommend, if today you are accountant, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, or even if you are a consultant, these businesses are generally quite stable to have the business premise, and they are their brand name. So they are not, looking into like sometimes partnership, or they have several shareholders. You, in fact, can make your own decision to plan along the line. I was talking to a veteran lawyer, and this lawyer has a daughter who is also a lawyer. So one of the things that he lamented is that he has been helping so many of his clients do conveyancing, but he has never thought about investing in an office unit to be running as his own office. So he has been paying rent throughout. Well, I told him it's never too late, because his daughter is also a lawyer, and this time round he should take note and make sure that his daughter, who's younger by age, start investing today into a commercial premise as her workplace. Yeah. Okay. Now, the whopping jump in the ABSD to the foreigners, to the entities and trustees. So I would say this is like shocking to a lot. And do foreigners buy into Singapore's commercial property and industrial property? I would say yes. And there have already been institutional buyers who own shophouses, family offices who also bought into commercial properties. And for Solitaire at Cecil, multiple floors have already been sold on a single floor basis. So what does it tell you for the foreigners, trustees and entities? That buying business properties is definitely an option. Okay, so why is Singapore attractive? First of all, we have a rather strong economy. We have the political stability. I think thanks to our, right now we are actually going into even planning our fourth generation leaders as well. So I think the transition of the government from one generation to another has been the most stable, I think really world class. Looking at also our policies, it's really business friendly policy. So today, if you are a foreigner or who wants to set up not just foreigners, I mean, you want to open up a company in Singapore, it's so fast. And Singapore, definitely the global connectivity. It's actually the gateway to Asia as well. We have a very skilled workforce, and we have favorable tax environment as compared to many countries. So for you guys, all included, including Singaporeans, and PRs, if you are thinking of investing in foreign countries, don't choose a country that you are not familiar with. Singapore is still a safe haven to invest in. It's just that you have to select either residential or non-residential property. And our strong rental market. Do you know that, in fact, most of our major office building, the occupancy is all above 90%. This is very strong, and some of the blue chip buildings are even as high as 95%. So what does this tell you? The demand is still very strong. The major landlords are collecting rents happily. And how about you? If you want a slice of cake into business property, this is always strong rental market that you have to look to, because the borders are open. In fact, many foreign companies are investing in Singapore as well. So this is actually a golden opportunity now that the borders are open. Of course, when you talk about investing for rental income, the next thing you always have to be cautious about is the exit. So exit-wise, I would say, aside from what I just mentioned, the potential en bloc for some buildings, land scarce Singapore. How wrong can you go? So basically, I'm not just speaking just because of this YouTube. I'm also talking about my own experience together with my bunch of friends who have invested into business properties. So let me just share with you my personal experience. In fact, 3 shareholders, including myself, we invested in Burlington Square. And our story was we were kicked out of Key Point, which was actually a building that's undergoing a sale and undergoing redevelopment. So we needed to find an office ourselves, and we just have to buy a property. And back then, the choices were between, Paya Lebar Square and Wellington Square. We have decided to buy Wellington Square because it was ready for our use then. So what did we do? And that is how the how part that I'm going to share with you. Because I have my own residential property, and definitely I'm also not a speculative, investor. And I do have some of my investment in blue chip. So the next thing I think about is, hey, property itself is a lump sum investment. So I have to spread my risk. So actually I have 2 other shareholders, and together we are 3 wholesome to invest into a commercial property. So if you look at it, the how part. So today, if you are switching from residential into non-residential, and you're feeling that you do not know how to manage the risk, get a few friends together, set up a company, and this company itself is easy to manage because each shareholder will own some shares, and just run it like a company. Okay, you have to set it up as GST registered if the next property you are buying is GST entity. That is so that you can claim back your GST. Because we are now 8%, we're going to be 9%. So all in all, I would say that buying into a business property is not as tough as you are thinking, and in fact, it can be smooth sailing if you are talking to the right folks, and including myself, because I have done this and been there, and of course we have been helping investors looking into their investment strategies as well. So I want to also say that please do click the WhatsApp button so that we can have a one-to-one discussion, because besides it's just telling you, oh, it's good to invest in business property to diversify, to get your rental, but everybody's journey is different. So a one-to-one consultation will definitely help you. Or if you can remember the number 833-1338, send us a WhatsApp message and we'll get back to you within 2 days. Do support our channel. If you are a business owner, you are investor, and you are specifically looking at business properties, because we have lots of useful content for you. Like it, subscribe, and I'll see you the next time round. I'm Edie from Property Bank. Bank on us for properties.